I have a very different way of doing OFM than most people. However, it is working for me, and I believe that the future of the way that I do things is going to lead to a very interesting business, and frankly, one that's more appealing than the type of business that most people run. So my agency right now is doing about 60K a month, and I have a lot of models and a lot of chatters and a lot of accounts. And there are a lot of benefits to doing things this way as opposed to having 5 models or 6 models and putting everything into those models. So the way that I do things, I call that going wide with OFM. The way that most other people do things who are doing very well, I will call that going deep. And in this video, I'm going to talk about going wide versus going deep in OnlyFans management. I can't say which way is better. I will tell you that most of the people who make crazy money, and on Telegram at least, go deep. They've got 5 or 6 models. They dump everything into those models, and they don't fucking work with anybody who's not, amazing because of the way they run things. Me, on the other hand, I have much lower standards relatively, higher in some ways, but lower in probably the ways that they have high standards, which allows me to do a lot of stuff that they are unable to do. Anyway, in this video, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the benefits of going wide versus the benefits of going deep. So let's talk about the benefits of going wide. Now, before I tell you this, I want to explain to you a little bit about how my agency works, I guess, briefly. I kind of already mentioned it. I have a lot of models. I have a lot of chatters. I have a lot of assistants. I have a lot of accounts. There's just a lot of everything. It's all spread out all over the place. I'm not like Casual Hyped who has like fucking a billion accounts for everybody. That would be cool. But I have a lot of revenue streams, let's call them. They're not big revenue streams, but there are a lot of them. A lot. Like, I don't even know how many there are. There's so many. And, what are the benefits of this? Number one, I guess that's the main benefit of going wide, is that money comes from a lot of places. And as a result, your business will be more stable in case something bad happens. Like, if one of my models quits, yeah, it would suck, but like, I've got 7 more. So I don't care as much as if I only had one model, choose my only model. And right now I think I have, I just signed another one. I don't know, 6, 7. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 now. I have 8 models. Most of them have 2 accounts. So that's 16 accounts. So I have 16 accounts. If one of them gets banned, or if like something happens with the chatter or the traffic on one of the accounts, it's just one account. So like, I don't really care. I have 15 other revenue streams that has money coming in a lot, and they're not doing like, okay, fine. Some of them are, could use some love, let's say, but it's just a matter of time before they get that love. And if I manage to give them the love without any direct work on my part, then it's just nonstop love with no work, which is the dream, is it not? Anyway, the first point is that when you go wide, your business is more stable in case something bad happens. If some platform comes out with an update, if some model decides to quit, if something bad happens in any way, the effect of that bad thing is going to be limited because of how thinly my risk is spread. Like, the risk is spread between a lot of stuff. So like, one thing could happen, I don't really fucking care because there's a lot more for me to focus on as a result. And that brings me to my next point, which is that it allows you to experiment with a lot of strategies and thereby learn faster. So somebody gave me a nice compliment in my group today where they said they used me, we were talking about something, and they're like, oh yeah, like take Yalapapi, for example. He's always trying to learn new stuff. And that is true. I am always trying to learn new stuff, especially lately since my agency has become more my focus than the info products, coaching, bootcamp side of things, proxies, all that. And it has allowed me, when I have so many models and so many accounts and so much personnel, it allows me to experiment with a lot of different things and learn much faster. For example, I can hire, instead of having one model and one Reddit account, I can fucking hire 2 different VAs to do Reddit. I can have them do different strategies for the same girl. I can see what performs better. I can repeat that strategy with Twitter, with multiple accounts. I can have different chatters doing different chatting strategies on different accounts. And I can have all of these people summarizing their learnings in PDFs to train everybody else and to fucking figure out the best solution, or a preferred solution, a better solution. Similarly, if I have a lot of different models with different strengths and weaknesses and different attributes, I can have them do different things and learn faster as a result of what they do. I can have one model go on TikTok live. I can have another model do fucking 25 reels a day. I can have another model doing 50 reels a day. I can put another model on dating apps. I can fucking put another model on fucking webcam, right? I can experiment with a lot of stuff so that if I find something that works really well with this person, I can be like, oh, great, this works for her. Let me deconstruct it. Let me analyze it. And then let me figure out how to replicate it across the board. So to be fair, I am still kind of in the beginning phases of this. But I'll tell you about one win that happened recently. I have, a big part of my strategy is Instagram, if the girls will do it. Like, record these trends, go to Trend Hunter, log into my Trend Hunter account, go get these trends, record them, upload them to accounts that you run on your phone that we will create for you, and let us do the chatting. And the girls that do that, they get more subs than anybody, period. End of story. Now, I had one model who was doing this, one who was doing it like religiously. And then I saw how good she was doing, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if the other girls will do it. I know, crazy thought. I finally got around to it. And I asked this one girl, this girl makes no money, has been with me for a while, very sweet. Makes no money, gets no subs. I never gave her accounts any love. I'd always put shitty chatters on her account just because I never thought the account would make any money. I was like, she just doesn't have it for some reason. All of a sudden, I let her log into Trend Hunter. I'm like, go do some fucking videos, and she's getting 50 subs a day now. And so in an instant, without me having to do any work, I took something that works over here, I copy pasted it over to here, and now it's just a matter of assigning a quality chatter to that account, which I did today, new chatter, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to have another revenue stream. I'll give you another example with chatters, right? So when you have a lot of accounts, you will need a lot of chatters. When you go wide, you will have to go wide in every area. And with a lot of chatters, obviously you're going to get people who are different, who have different strengths and weaknesses. This is not something that I ever realized with chatters before. I thought they were all kind of the fucking same because of the chatting that I saw. They were all retarded. My chatters, the good ones, are not retarded. They are smart. They are actually smart. Even the one who's not smart is fucking smart. He's crafty, he's figured it out. And what I can do, because I have so many, is I can basically experiment with different strategies for training new chatters. So one thing that I did on that account that I just mentioned where the girl's getting 50 subs a day, I had a new chatter who finished training today, and I was like, okay, I'm going to assign you to that account. Normally what I do is I have my chatters shadow 3 different chatters who are doing well, 3 out of the 4. And then I give them an account and I let them go. What I decided to do instead is I put this chatter with the chatter who's like the best at, I would say he's the best at sales. Like, I can put him on any account and he will sell for fucking $500 a day. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. The other guys, they're also good. They don't have as much experience and they're just not as consistent as him. So I said to him, I was like, listen, and he's not the manager. I have another guy who's the manager. I said to him, I was like, listen, normally I have these guys fucking, shadow 3 people, but I'm going to have this new guy only shadow you. And I want you guys to work on this girl's account. I want that account to make money, and I'm putting you in charge. I'm putting the responsibility on your shoulders of training this guy and showing him how it works and showing him that it is possible on this account. And we'll see how it goes, So like, that's another experiment that I can do. This might be a great way to train new chatters. If I could replicate what this guy does, $500 a day guaranteed on every account. I mean, fuck, dude, that's like, I don't, am I just excited about this for no reason? Here's the power of going wide is that when you have a good system that you can replicate at scale, then the sky's the limit. You can literally like do it infinitely. Anyway, a lot of that comes to experimenting. Number 4, the last one, is that it teaches you how to manage a team. Or rather, it will teach you how to manage a large team or multiple large teams. So when you go wide and you have a lot of stuff, you have a lot of accounts, you have a lot of fucking models, you have a lot of fucking chatters, a lot of assistants, a lot of people, a lot of things happening. It will force you to learn how to manage all these people, meaning how to communicate with different types of people, meaning how to motivate different types of people, meaning how to streamline your communication with specific groups of people. For example, let's say I want all of my models to start doing OFTV, right? I will prepare, what I did before is I would go and I would fucking send a message to this girl, send one to this girl, right? It's now evolved. Now I have an assistant. Now I make groups with myself and the assistant and the model. And I give the message to the assistant and I say, go post this in every single one of the groups. And so now, instead of me having to send a bunch of messages to everybody, now I fucking send one message to this guy and he does it. So it's little things like that, right? And then, part of what I was also having him do was communicate between the chatters and the models. Now I just fucking put the chatters in the model group. I don't fucking care. Talk to this model. This is your model. Go fucking build a connection with her. Try your fucking little heart out and go do a good job. Am I worried? That's another good idea for a video. Why I let my chatters talk to my models. Direct communication. I do not fucking care. Like these guys, and who knows, maybe they'll all fucking quit tomorrow and I'll look like a fucking dumbass, but they're loyal soldiers. They're in it to win it. They like the cut of my jib. They want to work for me. So I'm not worried about that. But anyway, when you have a lot of people working for you, it will teach you, you will have to learn how to manage a team because there's not enough hours in a day to do everything yourself. Like if I think about all the stuff that ever since I've been trying to scale and expand, I've been way busier. Like I get to the fucking my co-working space in the morning and I'm like doing shit all day until I leave 5-6 o'clock. So it's forcing me to like figure out ways to make this easier. And I'm always adding new shit. I'm like, okay, now we need to fucking make 6 Instagram accounts for all these girls. And like, I need to hire a VA to fucking upload it. And everything like that. There's a lot of projects going on and going wide is forcing me to figure out how to streamline all these processes so that I don't have to fucking send these communications to these people every time I want this thing done. So that's going wide. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk about the cons of each of these. I'm just going to talk about the pros. Otherwise, this video would be like fucking 3 hours long. So let's talk about the pros of going deep. So going deep, what is that? That is basically when you have a small team of models and everything is just more concentrated on a few creators. So what are the benefits of this? The benefits of this is that, well, let's talk about the first benefit, which is that most of the people that make a lot of money on Telegram, I'm using that distinction for a reason. Most of the people that make a lot of money on Telegram go deep. Okay. They're very good at black hat marketing. They've figured out Tinder. They have the fucking sauce and they can make a bajillion Tinder accounts, a billion Snap accounts. And like they can get 1,000 subs a day or fucking 200 subs a day or bajillion subs a day. Model doesn't have to do shit. You can pay some fucking salary model $1,000 a month for fucking, whatever. And they have their little system that works for them and they get a bunch of subs. It sounds actually really good, really good now that I describe it. You could do that going wide as well, by the way. But the point is that they have a small team and they have their traffic system figured out and they just dump everything into these girls. And this is how most people make a lot of money, right? In fact, I don't know anybody on Telegram. Well, actually, that's not true. I do know one person, Lucky Duck. I interviewed him on my YouTube channel. The interview was taken down, unfortunately. But last time I talked to him, he had over 100 models. 70 models. I'm sorry. And he's making $1 million a month, over $1 million a month. He's clearing. So like it works. He's doing it. He's the only one though, to be fair. Everybody else goes deep. So that is more of, let's say, the proven formula. And I feel like when people start doing OFM, and this was true for me as well, when people start doing OFM, they think that going deep is the only way. It's like, you got to get as many subs as possible for this girl. And you got to scale it and you got to get, you got to do all the work yourself. And that's just how it is. And that's the only way that everybody thinks is possible. Or like it never occurs to them to do it the other way, which is fine. Going deep works. if you are talented and smart enough to be able to scale it on that small amount of girls. If you are, props to you. You want to help me out, like definitely fucking send me a message. But the bottom line is that most people who make the big money go deep. Now, what I said, I made that distinction. Most of the big people on Telegram go deep. If you look at the big agencies, Unruly, Creators Inc., they all have a fucking ton of creators, like hundreds. And I mean, I don't know exactly how much they make, but they probably, like 20% of a girl who's doing $1 million a month times 100 is more than, the big people on Telegram. You know what I mean? People on Telegram, they do well for sure, but how many of them are making more than $1 million a month? Not a lot. 10, maybe? Whereas the big agencies, and again, how many fucking big agencies are there that are making this kind of money? Not a lot. But the ultimate end goal, or like the best solution that you could have, would be to be one of those big agencies where you have a ton of models who are all making a fucking shitload of money, even if you take a smaller percentage. So that's the distinction. Number 2, the benefit is that it is easier to manage a small team than it is to manage big teams. All things being equal, it is easier to manage 5 people. It's easier to manage 5 creators and, let's say, 20 chatters, right? Than it is to have a team of 50 creators and 100 chatters. It's easier to do it the first way because there's just, everything is concentrated into fewer buckets. So you don't have to like you see me when I say, I'll ask myself in these videos, like, oh, I have, how many models do I don't even remember how many I have. I only have 8. You know what I mean? But like they come and they go. Like, I don't remember how many chatters I have. Like, I hired this guy. I didn't hire that guy. Like, this guy got fired. I fired 2 people the other day. So like, I don't even know how many people are there. It's always in flux. Whereas if you go deep, you've got your 5 girls. They've been with you for X amount of time. They're like clockwork submitting their content. You don't need to worry about you just have a lot less to worry about, I guess, is really what it comes down to. Whereas I have a lot of things that I need to think about. And again, it's also like the beginning of me still in like the figuring out phase of this. Long overdue, but it's happening now. So it's easier to manage a small team. It's easier to manage 5 creators. You probably have the same system for all of them. You probably have it like regimented. It's simple. They do what they do, and that's it. Number 3, it's easier to scale a single model. Well, I wrote a single model, but it's easier to scale fewer models than it is to scale more models. When you have, like, how do you really scale a small group of models? Well, more traffic, right? And usually the way that people scale small teams, and I could be wrong. I don't actually know. This I might be talking out of my ass here, so feel free to correct me in a comment if I am wrong. Most agencies that go deep, they have 1, maybe 2 forms of traffic. They're not doing everything, right? They're like only doing dating apps, or they're only doing Instagram, or they're doing like maybe 2, and they focus on that and they scale that. Again, I could be wrong, but they're not doing Twitter and Reddit and Instagram, or maybe they are. I don't fucking know. But the point is that when you have fewer of them, it is easier to scale each one of them. I have 8 now, and again, it's still in like the figuring out phase, but I'm like, fuck, how do we, like, okay, this girl needs fucking traffic on her OF. Okay, this girl needs a fucking chatter. I just fired this chatter. So like, there's a lot going on, and it's hard for me to keep track of. And if it's hard to keep track of, then it's going to be harder to scale by yourself, right? The next, like what I need to do, or I guess the level that I'm at now, is I need to hire more people to help me with shit so that I don't have to think about it. But if you go deep, you don't need as much support staff for that kind of thing because you can do more on your own, and you're probably automating a lot more as opposed to relying on virtual assistants to do it for you. Number 4, individual accounts earn more when you have fewer of them and you're going deep. So it's a bigger flex, which can help you in lots of ways. for example, let's say that I wasn't going wide and I was going deep, and I was doing the same amount of money, but it was on one account, doing 60K a month. Those screenshots and that claim of saying, oh, my model does 60K a month, that will work for me a lot more than me saying I have 8 models that are doing 60K, right? That's not as impressive. Even when I say that, like, I'm kind of embarrassed. Could be doing a lot more if I had more competent chatters, to be fair. Could be double that, but it is what it is. And when you have I don't know, maybe you guys know, maybe you don't know, but when you can whip out your phone and you can show a creator that's doing 100K a month, and you can show somebody in person, in real life, look, you want to see an account that's doing 100 grand? Look, what girl is not going to want to work with you? Any girl. Well, okay, fine. Any girl who's interested in OnlyFans, who is looking for a manager, she's going to fucking choose that guy, as opposed to some random on the fucking internet who hit her up on Instagram. And it's very powerful. Another thing that it's powerful for when you have individual accounts that are earning lots of money, and to be clear, like, the benefit of doing it that way is to flex. That is the benefit, is to fucking show people, and the benefit from showing people. Like I said, it's good for models because you can more easily recruit higher quality models when you can show them very good results like that. Like to normal people, and it's all, our perception of money is skewed in this industry. If I tell you, for example, that a model is doing 20K, what do you think? What's your instant initial reaction? You're like, oh, okay, well that's okay, I guess. Even if you're new. Right? Because why do you have such a lukewarm reaction to that? Because you've heard the stories. This guy makes 50K on one model. This guy makes 100K. This guy's doing 500K a month. You've heard crazy numbers. You see crazy numbers every day on Telegram. So like, for you to hear that one girl is doing 20K, you're like, oh, well, that's cool, I guess. Good for you. But if you tell that to a fucking normal person on the street, yeah, this model that I have is making $20,000 a month. They're like, oh my, that blows their fucking mind, dude. You don't understand. Like, normies, that's you might as well have said like $1 million. That's insane money to them. Even in a place like Miami, people here don't make fucking $20,000 a month. Yeah, there's some, but most people don't still, even in a place like this. So it's a massive flex, and it can help you to recruit models. And it can also, this is also important, or, I would use this for sure if I had accounts that were doing that much money, is that it would help me fucking sell info products and help me sell coaching. To be fair, I could probably sell it with what I'm doing now. Like, my system still works, and I prefer my system to going deep. But, those screenshots of accounts doing $12,000 a month, even if there's 5 of them, don't hit as hard as that one that's doing 60. Do you understand? So it, like, all things being equal, it will be harder for me to sell high ticket coaching packages or boot camps or fucking courses or whatever the fuck, however other way I want to monetize. It's going to be harder for me to do that because I can't flex the big screenshots like most people can yet. Number 5, I think. It allows you to streamline your traffic strategy. So again, like I said, I could be wrong about how people get traffic who go deep because I don't do it. But I feel like a lot of people are only doing one type of traffic. And the reason they're only doing one type of traffic is because they're so good at that one. And that is what has enabled them to go so deep. Is like, you don't have, because if they're going deep on their agency, they're probably going deep on everything, right? They're going deep on the traffic. They're going deep on the models. They're going deep. Well, I guess the chatters, you need a certain amount of chatters, but like, it's probably a very tightly knit team of fucking killers. Because you got to remember, that account that's doing 60K a month, like, you need good chatters on the account to sell that much. Most of that money comes from whales. Okay. That money's not coming from fucking $5 sales. Money's not coming from subscription revenue. You still need talented salespeople to get, 5 or 6 guys who are paying 10K a month. So you still need that. And those fuckers are not hard to find. Let me tell you, they're not hard. They're hard to find, and they're hard to train. So they're probably going deep on everything. And specifically, why I mentioned why this is a benefit, that it allows them to streamline their traffic strategy, is because traffic is the most volatile of the components of this business, right? Models, there's always going to be models. There's always going to be girls who want to do this, or guys, or trannies, or whatever. There's always going to be plenty of them. Go look at any marketplace. I mean, if you add up all the marketplaces and let's say you total up all of the leads that are for sale at any given time, at least like 300. There's at least 300 girls that you can go and you can choose from right now and you can get in contact with tonight who will be like, yes, I want to work with you to do OnlyFans immediately. Chatting is not easy. It's hard to find chatters. It's hard to train chatters. That's not easy. But you can get shitty chatters. You can get a chatting agency and fucking roll the dice and hope they put somebody competent on your account. You can get bodies from fucking OFM jobs and like hope that they have at least enough brain in their head to make some money. Like you can get money coming in, and that's fairly reliable. Like they're going to show up every day. They're going to sell a certain amount and you're going to make money. Traffic, on the other hand, is volatile. And what I mean by that is that like you can do Instagram and then Instagram comes out with an update and you're fucked. And if that's all you're doing, well, you're gonna have a big problem. You got to figure something out quickly. If all you're doing dating apps, another good example, let's say you're only doing Tinder and like something happens with Tinder and then you're just totally fucked. But, well, look, this is actually supposed to be a pro, not a con. Anyway, the point is that you can streamline your efforts towards strengthening one source of traffic to the point where that's all you need. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that people who go deep on their agency, that is what they do. And that is one of the reasons why they are so successful, is because they cut out all the other shit. And they're like, okay, I'm not going to bother with Twitter and Reddit and TikTok and fucking dating apps. All I'm going to do is Instagram. And we're going to go hard on Instagram. And that helps. Cool. That was my video on going wide versus going deep in OFM. Let me know what you think about that. Drop me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.